watch that. Watch this.
Well, what do you mean by this? Oh, well, this is my channel. Welcome to it. And if you guys do really enjoy it, you can go in, you can click the share button. That really, really helps the algorithm. Go to Twitter, Facebook, Blogger. I don't even know what the crap that is. Reddit, all the stuff. So if you do love that, we also have a join button. You go in, you click the little join button. $4.99 a month. You get all the cool, awesome emojis. Now, enjoy the video. Whether you are for, against, or indifferent of the Snyder Cut, this article crosses the line quite a bit. Hello everyone, I am still Mecha Random 42. We're still in the middle of a live stream, still the one, still the only, still your favorite YouTube consumer advocate Harpy, your favorite one at that. And yeah, we're talking about one of the probably most insulting articles I've seen in dealing with all of the time I've done. I mean, we've seen all these articles where they call us trolls and ists and phobes and man babies. This one is, it's up there. It's definitely one of the most. This is from, what is this? MSN.com. MSN. I gotta read it the right way. As Timothy Beck, who wrote this 4 days ago, would have written it.
Sorry, nerds, but the Snyder Cut won't fill that gaping hole inside of you.
Really? Really? Do you really have to word it like that? Do you really? I mean, I guess that's the only way I'm doing a video on it is because you worded it like that. Also, I think we need this. I think this is appropriate. Sorry, nerd. You really are starting out. This is your headline. This is your headline. Sorry, nerds. All right. Last time I checked, they were marketing most of these comic book movies kind of to normies anyway, especially the superhero ones, especially the Underoos superheroes. Those are the big ones. Those are the ones that like my mom can name, who knows nothing about any of them. These are the ones normies can name. Your normie superheroes are your biggest names. Your Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, and I'm throwing Spider-Man in there even though he's Marvel. Wonder Woman, Superman, those are your Underoos. Superheroes. So first off, insulting much. Second off, here's where you're gonna cancel me. And I know, a lot of the time people are like, but Mecha. I know. He's not that wrong. It's just really, really worded horribly. And I know what you're thinking. But Mecha. Aren't you for the Snyder Cut? All right. I am for it. Intellectually, I am for it in a sense of, yes. The people who want this absolutely deserve it, especially since they've been trying so hard, especially around the circumstances, especially with all that. At the same time, I don't care. I still think it's going to be a longer version of a movie that I personally wasn't that into in the first place, but I am not going to be one of those March Killjoys coming in and trying to ban something just because it might not be my cup of tea.
Call me a killjoy, but I think that because this is not to my taste, no one else should be able to enjoy it. I'm all over that. Yes.
And I don't think anyone else should either. And that's where I come in as a consumer advocate. When I see this type of stuff, this comes off like one of these hit pieces. To what? Try and side with the studio? I gotta watch this, or read this, or watch this. I gotta read this article. This weekend, director Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers released the long-awaited teaser trailer for the Snyder Cut, a director's cut of the Justice League coming to HBO Max. What kind of cinematic masochism could inspire people to actively campaign for the release of Justice League, a movie that earned a measly 40% on Rotten Tomatoes? Well, because it's a longer version, because they brought in a different director, and they want to see if having the original director's vision and not having all the studio interference might make a better movie, right? That's what they want to see, and they have every right to want to see that and want to know that. And this is why I don't like these kind of articles. It's not going to fix anything. And it probably won't fix the movie. It probably won't fix the movie for anybody who didn't want to watch it in the first place. But you know who it might fix the movie for? Everybody who's passionate about this. Everybody who's obsessed with this franchise. Everybody who really, really wanted to know what the actual Snyder version was going to be like instead of the studio notes we're going to bring in Joss Whedon halfway through. That is one of the biggest problems I see in a lot of these movies, is the studio interference. Dog Ears with Dylan says Snyder had to leave because his daughter passed away. I think he deserves to finish his vision. And that's another thing. Just to look at it from that point of view, this is why I'm not making videos saying F the Snyder Cut, right? This is why, like, my personal opinion of it is, yeah, I'm probably going to pass because it's not my cup of tea. I do not want to ban this from anybody who wants this, nor am I going to write hit pieces or tell you guys you're a bunch of nerds because it might not be my cup of tea. Unlike this guy who flat out says, sorry nerds, but the Snyder Cut won't fill the gaping hole. What are you, a Mary Sue writer? This is a male Mary Sue writer. Do they have a Twitter handle? Can we contact him? Are you kidding me? And I get what he's saying. I do get it. Today, a lot of people define themselves as the pop culture they consume. They are anime lovers, K-pop obsessed, TikTok and YouTuber stans, and grow up obsessed with young adult books and comic book nerds. Yet, as we obsess over fandoms like never before, we're constantly being let down. Well, this is why I like a little of this and a little of that, and I know to kind of dip out personally, so I don't really get upset too much, except for Star Trek. I know, here I am, pot kettle, because it's Star Trek. But I try and do something more productive with it. I try and come in and create a video that says, here's how we can fix it. Here's what I would do. Here's what's wrong with it. Right? And I know a lot of the Snyder fans are like that. A lot of the people who are so into this stuff. And there's nothing wrong with being that obsessed with this stuff. You may have noticed that fans who love Game of Thrones, or those who seem to hate the finale most, or who loved it the most, were the ones who seem to hate the finale the most. The harder you try to identify as a Star Wars fan, the more likely you were to bitterly complain about the Star Wars movies online. Harry Potter fans are turning on J.K. Rowling in droves. Everywhere you look, fandoms are getting mad on the internet. Well, gee, that might be because we're getting forced with all of this identity politics stuff in our movies. We're getting told we're ists, we're phobic, we're every name under the sun if we don't like a character or a movie that happens to feature a woman on it, for example. And so much so that now anytime there is a female on the screen, you do have a segment of people who just automatically assume it's going to be woke because it has a woman in it. So, of course, we're a little sensitive to this. We're a little sensitive over the last 2 years of being called everything from toxic man babies to ists, phobes, Russian bots. They tried to call us bots for a while too. Yeah, we're a little tired of it. In the midst of all this bitterness, Snyder fans are clamoring for a new and improved Justice League movie. The promised one they've been waiting for all their lives. It's only going to hurt them. Well, see, that's what I think might actually happen. Sorry, I had to close the door for a second. I think it might not be the most amazing thing in the world. I think it might still be just another kind of dark muddled CGI mess for me personally, and I don't see it really fixing a whole lot of stuff. If you're looking forward to the Snyder Cut, if you've ever tweeted the hashtag release the Snyder Cut, then I'm begging you to lower your expectations. No matter how good the director's cut is, I promise it's not going to fill that hole inside of you, and let's be honest with each other. You know it's not going to be any good. Well, it might be better. I mean, I can tell you that. This just sounds to me like he just doesn't like this stuff anyway. This just sounds to me like this would be somebody like me who probably would have given this a mediocre at best review and then moved on. So maybe put like some sort of qualifications that, hey, this is my personal bias, instead of writing just such a clickbait, rage bait article. I had a blast watching the last Star Wars movie. Well, there you go. Your taste is now in question. I thought the final season of Game of Thrones was a heck of a lot of fun. I was honestly mystified by the angry hordes of fans. Well, but that's because it seems like you just didn't pay attention. It seems like you didn't pay attention and weren't being called an isnophobe, because you probably are one of those mindless consumers who does just love everything. And it seems to me that you do not like these sort of dark superhero movies, but you do not have the confidence or the stones to actually say it. That's what it sounds like to me, because we're in this no negativity culture where you're not allowed to just dislike anything. You're not allowed to say, you know what, it's not my cup of tea. Because I guarantee you, when I release this video of this clipped segment here, and I'll release it probably tomorrow, probably Tuesday, that I'm going to have people who are upset with me and are going to say, but Mecha, we don't want to listen to anything you have to say because you're not a fan of the Snyder Cut or the Justice League, the dark stuff anyway. I wonder, it's possible we're expecting too much from our entertainment products. Here's my secret to enjoying pop culture: your dragon TV shows and space samurai movies. Stop expecting so much for them. They're never going to be good enough to fill you up inside. Well, that's why you need the new Doctor Who screwdriver. I mean, it is conveniently shaped to hit those hard-to-reach places if you really need it to when you self-partner. Because that's what it sounds like to me. This just sounds like somebody who's very miserable and bitter. And I get where he's trying to come from, but he's coming so angrily and so hurtful of the very community that he's a part of. So I get it. It's not going to be the be-all, end-all, but I think it's a lot more people are out of curiosity wanting to see it. They want to see what would have happened. Yeah, the dude needs to get... Yes, he does, Black Phoenix. Which brings us back to the Snyder Cut. Why is it re-releasing? Why are they re-releasing it? It's a long, complicated, sad story. Sad story. Yeah, fine. Here we go. There's just one problem. The Justice League was a fundamentally bad movie. The entire foundation was rotten. And so when the Snyder Cut is finally released, it will still be a bad movie, according to you. According to you. So don't watch it. And let them. What, did you have to go in and write an article? So this guy just goes on to keep repeating why he made his point. I think we get it. Zack Snyder's no Joss Whedon. The DC cinematic universe still... Alright, so yeah, as a cinematic universe, it does need some work. And I kind of agree with a lot of this, but I wouldn't make it so combative. I wouldn't make it so accusatory. I wouldn't make it as an attack, as a hit piece to Snyder fans. So apparently Zack Snyder has learned nothing. How long? I could keep going, but I need to. Well, apparently you're pretty angry about it, little Mr. Mary Sue writer. He's a male Mary Sue writer, isn't he? I'm assuming with a name like who wrote this? Timothy? Now I gotta scroll back. Look how long this is. He was just going on. Yeah, Timothy Beckworth. Timothy Beckworth. Do you have a... Can we search you? What do you look like? Who are you? On Instagram. Let's see. Timothy Beckworth, managing editor from spy.com. That's you. That's him. Open image, a new tab. That's him. So just admit you don't really like the Zack Snyder, like the Snyder movies. And just say, hey, I'm happy for you if you wanted this. That's all you needed to say, Timothy. Instead of going out of your way to make this hit piece. It's a hit piece. Soy boy alert. Yeah, of course he's... Yep, he is. Why isn't his mouth opened? I don't know. He's just projecting morbid fury, says. I think so, too. Zack Snyder drinks real milk. Zack Snyder drinks real milk. Timothy Beckworth might not. I am going back to my live chat. He just doesn't like this. Just say you don't like it and move on. Let people enjoy things. Don't you go anywhere. And thank you for subscribing.